Luego no cumplen. Llame para una cita 240-893-6916, sirviendo toda el área metropolitana de Washington. 240-893-6916 y vuelva a dormir tranquilo. Y a partir de este momento, hablando de impuestos con el licenciado Jimmy Vargas. Un programa patrocinado por JV Tax and Accounting Services. Hablando de impuestos con el licenciado Jimmy Vargas.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Tuvimos un poquito de retraso aquí con algo técnico, pero ya estamos en vivo en Radio América con todos los oyentes. Mi nombre es Jimmy Vargas, presidente de JV Tax and Accounting Services. Este lunes que pasó fue fecha límite para las corporaciones tipo S y para las asociaciones también, así que para nosotros fue un día pues bastante ocupado. Todavía seguimos trabajando con aquellos que tienen extensiones. Ahora, la próxima fecha límite es el 15 de octubre para impuestos personales y corporativos tipo C. Pues yo les prometí que íbamos a tener acá en vivo en el programa una abogada, la abogada de bienes raíces. Ella ya está aquí porque ya la puedo ver que está en pantalla. En unos minutos estaremos hablando con ella. Yo estaré traduciendo en vivo, obviamente, así que tenemos mucha información. Tenemos el tema de hoy es sobre los ejecuciones hipotecarios y las ventas cortas, lo que se llama en inglés los foreclosure y los short sales. Vamos a hablar de ese tema que es algo muy, muy importante. Y primero voy a hablarles un poquito sobre quién es la abogada Jill Michaels. Ella está acá, está en vivo y ella es la fundadora, yo tengo información acá, ella es la fundadora de Foreclosure Defense Foundation and the Short Sale Law Group. Desde el 2007 ha negociado con éxito más de 15,000 casos de ventas cortas, las famosas short sales, en la firma de abogados de la abogada Jill Michaels. Ella y su equipo han representado y asesorado a clientes en planificación estratégicas de negocios, derechos laborales, defensa de ejecuciones hipotecarias. Ha recibido múltiples premios y honores en la profesión legal, más recientemente según la calificación de Peers and Clients 2024, Lawyers of Distinction, según se ve en USA Today y en New York Times, por la excelencia de derecho inmobiliario, como socia de la empresa que se llama ATG Title. ATG Título es la firma de título. Jill brinda servicios legales y asesoramientos para acuerdos residenciales y comerciales en el DMV, Maryland, DC, Virginia y todo el país. Tiene más de 20 años de experiencia en derecho inmobiliario, litigos y mediación, arbitraje y redacción y revisión de contratos, representando tanto a compradores como a vendedores. Se graduó con honores de la Facultad de Derecho de George Washington y actualmente tiene licencia para ejercer aquí en el DMV, ¿verdad? En el área de Maryland y Washington, D.C. La empresa tiene licencia para realizar operaciones inmobiliarias en 40 estados y se fundó en Fairfax, Virginia. Ha aparecido en publicaciones como Capital Area Realtor Magazine, que es una revista reconocida en el área como una de las mujeres más influyentes en el sector inmobiliario aquí en el Maryland Bar Journal y en el Washington Post también. Le apasiona enseñar y asesorar a agentes de bienes y raíces, ¿verdad? Personas expertas, contratos y consecuencias y línea directa legal gratuita. Vive en el condado de Montgomery County, aquí en Maryland, y con su esposo y sus hijos. Así que tenemos a la abogada Jill Michaels. Jill, can you hear me?
Yeah, muchas gracias. My head is this big.
Oh,
After that introduction.
I'm glad you can hear me because we have some information, and one of the topics that we're going to talk about to start off is the topic about description of short sale, foreclosure, that type of thing. Maybe you can give us. I already did the introduction for you, just to go a little bit faster. Give us some information about simple description about this short sale and foreclosure.
Absolutely, it's a hot topic. I can tell you right now that whether you're in a situation where you might need to sell your house on a short sale or buy a short sale as an investment, 30% of the market right now is made up of investors. It's a very unique time. And a short sale, it kind of sounds like a Pilates move or something. And really what it is somebody has so much that they owe on the house, and it could be their principal residence where they live. It could be investment property, second home, beach house, or commercial. But if they sold it, either because they're in default, they're late on their mortgage, or they're not late, but nevertheless, if they sold it and they went to sell it with the debt owing a mortgage company, Wells Fargo or whoever, Truist Bank, TD, doesn't matter, Navy Federal, home equity line of credit. So I have a first trust or first loan, a second loan possibly on my house, an equity line, or a business equity line that got attached. For a lot of Jimmy's clients have business equity lines, and they attach their personal property for that. So first house loan, second house loan, equity line, perhaps, any combination thereof. Also, sometimes people have homeowners association or condo association. How many of your clients are dealing with homeowners associations and condo associations out there?
A lot, yeah, a lot of people. So short sale means that if somebody cannot pay, would the mortgage company take over and sell the property, or you, the owner of the property, sell the property? How does that work?
Excellent question. So you have all these creditors. Maybe it's the first mortgage company who would want to foreclose on the house. Hey, you're not paying me. I want to get paid. You promised to pay me. But I fell on hard times, but I was unemployed, but I got a divorce, but there was a death in the family, contingency in the notes, the 3-paid note with Fannie, or Freddie or FHA or whatever. So they have the right to say, we're going to sell the property out from under you, subject to, if there's anything left over, we'll give it to you. But they can't do that on a home, on a principal residence, without going through a very particular set of procedures. And there's a lot of rights, particularly in Maryland, DC, and there's still a good amount of rights in Virginia, but things in Virginia can happen a lot quicker. They call it the rocket docket for a reason. So, but there's a process of selling the house. It's the owner who owns the house until it's foreclosed. So the bank, we want to work with the seller, the homeowner, to help them negotiate with the bank, where the bank will say, look, you owe me $500,000. And a real estate agent comes along and says, okay, but we can't, I know you bought it for $8 million, but if we sold it right now, we'd be selling it for $450,000. So they owe more just on that one mortgage alone, not including transfer taxes, real estate agent fees, condo association fees, homeowners association fees. Chances are, if you're behind or struggling on one mortgage, you're behind on other bills. And then your favorite group of people, Jimmy, who I refer all my clients to, are the people with the IRS debt. So Uncle Sam or Aunt Kamala, Uncle Trump, I don't know, whoever's going to be, right, are going to have. We'll
Translate so that way people that don't understand English can understand what we're talking about. So estamos con la abogada Jill Michaels y el tema es sobre lo de las ventas cortas, ¿verdad? Short sale. Y lo que ella explica es que esto sucede cuando usted deja de pagar su hipoteca, ¿verdad? Usted deja de pagarle la mensualidad al banco y prácticamente es un proceso donde el banco, el mortgage company, toma posesión del proceso y ellos van a querer o hacerle vender la propiedad. O sea, usted va a tener que vender la propiedad y básicamente es como que, ok, vendes la propiedad, me pagas a mí, le pagas a quien usted le deba, incluyendo al tío Sam. Si usted debe impuestos, le vas a tener que pagar impuestos al gobierno federal y si sobra dinero, entonces te lo damos a ti. Pero si no sobra dinero, pues obviamente no vas a recibir nada. Tengo el caso de un cliente que vino a mi oficina precisamente hoy. Él escuchó de que si él dejaba de pagar, él podía hacer una modificación y él dejó de pagar su hipoteca por varios meses. Él me dice que la deuda que él tiene en su casa actualmente es de $422,000, pero la casa tiene un valor en el mercado de $700,000. O sea que él tiene un equity. Equity es el valor después de la deuda que queda en la propiedad de $278,000. Y el banco no le quiere hacer una modificación a este señor. El banco quiere hacer un short sale. Le vamos a preguntar a la abogada Jill Michaels. So, Jill, so the client that came in today, I'm explaining that he owes $422,000 to the mortgage company. The house on the market, he thinks that he can sell it for $700,000. And so he has an equity of about $278,000. And the bank, he thought that if he just doesn't pay the mortgage, he could get a modification, but it didn't go that way. It went sour. So now the bank is saying that they can do a short sale, and they're not giving him too many options. It looks like he couldn't, he could not he couldn't just add the new debt to the end or to the monthly payment. Why is it that the bank wants to do the short sale? Do you think the bank knows that there's equity and they are going to benefit from the short sale? Is that how the mortgage company is going to look at this?
It depends on who the bank is. Do you happen to know which bank this particular, without giving any too much information away, but the actual lender who is for this client?
I'm not sure who the
America or whoever. Okay,
yeah,
whoever this bank is, chances are they just put him through a program. Sometimes people are under this misnomer that they have to be in default, and so they fall in default to try to get a loan modification. Now, loan modifications, there's no right to a loan modification. So what I think happened to him is they and typically I would say something around 74% of the time, loan modifications that are granted will go into default again. So the bank doesn't like to give them, and they oftentimes will say, we didn't get your paperwork, even though you sent it 10 times, or the numbers don't make sense, even if they otherwise would, because there's no right to it. So in this case, they have some basic underwriting program, and they say, you know what? If we foreclosed on this house, our 400 and change, our debt would be paid. And in theory, we don't care if we get $1 more than we're owed. And I think you said it was like 424,000 or $422,000.
So the mortgage right now is $422,000. They did tell him that if he pays about $9,000 to catch up again, then I guess he can just continue with the mortgage. I think he also owes the IRS about $19,000 for 2012, and we did about bankruptcy a little bit because he can't get a discharge through bankruptcy. But then he has all these issues now with the mortgage. So are you recommending short sale versus foreclosure for somebody who cannot pay?
Well, for somebody like him, I don't think he should do a short sale. If he wanted to, let's say if his situation is he unemployed right now, or what is his financial hardship?
He's transitioning from being an employee to being self-employed. Okay. So, you know, he's not sure, you know, if he's going to be able to continue paying. I think he should be okay. I think the biggest problem is he heard that if he stopped paying, he can get the loan modification.
Right. Yeah. And that was, you know, bad advice. That's why they need to call you, Jimmy, or me. I always say CYA, which we all means call your attorney. It also means something else.
Let me translate a little bit here before we continue. Dice la abogada que la decisión que tomó este señor de dejar de pagar, porque él escuchó allá afuera que si él dejaba de pagar, el banco la hipoteca, la compañía de hipoteca podía ayudarle a hacer la modificación, ¿verdad? Para bajar los pagos, pero no fue así. O sea, él se dio cuenta de que él cometió un grave error, porque él no dejó de pagar porque no podía. Él dejó de pagar porque a él le dijeron que si él dejaba de pagar, el banco le hacía la modificación y ya, pero no fue así. Y entonces ahora él está metido en este problema porque él dejó de pagar varios meses. El banco le está diciendo que si él paga $9,000, él puede como restablecer otra vez la hipoteca y volver y seguir con el proceso, ¿verdad? Con la hipoteca que él ya tiene y ya él no estaría en problema, pero no sé, no sé si él tiene los $9,000, pues me imagino que debería de tenerlos, ¿verdad? So he decided to stop paying because somebody told him just stop paying and then get a loan modification. It went sour, so now the mortgage company wants to do a short sale, but when is it that the foreclosure comes into play? Is that when the homeowner ignores the mortgage company, or they stop paying forever, or is that?
In theory, stop paying forever. But with this guy, I would even slow it back up. For one, I always say, CYA, cover your, which is the same as call your attorney. I don't know if you want to, call, tu abogada first, right? Here's the problem. This is what I need to do. For this guy, he's nowhere near foreclosure. He's only been behind for 3 months. But what he could have done is ask for something called a forbearance, meaning, listen, bank, I'm going through a hard time. I've never been late before. I'm going to ask you, sort of like people did during COVID, for about 3 months of a break off. But now he finds himself in a situation where he has a lot of equity in the property. Now, if he doesn't agree to one of the plans they suggest, either come up with the 9,000 or what other possibilities, and ignores it, then he's going to have a problem because it will continue to go into default and eventually foreclosure. Why should he lose all this equity in the property? Even with the IRS liens or state of Maryland or District of Columbia liens, it sounds like Maryland, he still has equity in this property. And that's assuming there's even, let's just say, when you're in debt, you also have, say, a credit card debt. You have other debt that's happening against you. So maybe there's also a credit card lien. And still, he may very well have a couple $100,000. If the bank sells it at foreclosure, the problem for our client is going to be, he will get it for it'll go to the court. The highest bidder will bid for 500. If he had sold it himself, he could have paid off the bank, the IRS, real estate agents, credit card debt, and had chump change left over.
So you recommend short sale versus foreclosure because you can still receive some money from the whole process, from the whole transaction. You can pay to everybody and there might be some money left over for you versus foreclosure. You may not get anything. The bank.
Oh, yeah. If it went to foreclosure, the likelihood is you may get, because there's equity, the bank is only allowed to keep that which they're owed. They can't keep that bucket plus pain and suffering. They can keep attorney fees and stuff like that, but they'll get their 422 plus, 10,000 that are behind and 5,000 in attorney fees or whatever. And if they sell the house for any more, they have to give that difference back to the homeowner. So it's not a short sale per se in this guy. It's more in this guy's situation, in this client, it's more distressed property sale than it would be a short sale. But in no event would this guy want to go to foreclosure. I would rather help him sell it and beat the clock from the bank going to foreclosure so we can get him some money now. Or if he winds up owing a lot more, somebody else owes a lot more, you definitely do not want to go to foreclosure. In all my time, I've done, like you said, over 15,000 short sales since 2007 in the Great Recession. A lot of my clients are Latinos or other minorities. And I've only ever recommended one person go to foreclosure. Because if you want to...
Let me translate a little bit here.
Sure.
So, lo que está diciendo la abogada es que en el caso como el de este señor, en vez de dejar de pagar por su cuenta, porque a él lo aconsejaron de una mal manera, él debía haberle pedido al banco un forbearance. Un forbearance es como, dame chance, dame 3 meses porque no te puedo pagar. Y él no se hubiera metido en tanto problema porque es mejor discutirlo con el banco, es lo que dice la abogada, o consultar con una abogada así como ella antes de tomar decisiones, antes de tomar acciones. Y lo que está diciendo la abogada es que si usted no puede pagar su hipoteca, la opción de short sale, la venta corta, es mucho mejor que la opción de un foreclosure. Es verdad que en un foreclosure el banco no se puede quedar con el equity que le pertenece al dueño. Si el banco toma la posesión de la casa y la vende o la subastan, porque eso es lo que hacen los bancos, ellos te quitan la propiedad, la subastan, se la venden al que más opte por pagar por la propiedad. El banco no se puede quedar con la ganancia. El banco puede recuperar lo que se le debe al banco, o sea, en este caso los $422,000 y gastos de cierre, gastos legales, gastos de abogado, gastos de documentación, etcétera. Pero el banco no se puede quedar con nada más. Si sobra dinero, se lo tienen que dar al dueño de la casa, ¿verdad? Entonces, pero la abogada dice que ella en casi todos los casos que ella ha tenido es mucho mejor, ella le puede ayudar a este señor a vender la propiedad y por lo menos recuperar lo que le pertenece a él, que es el equity, porque la van a poder vender al precio del mercado, más no en una subasta donde van a vender por mucho menos. Entonces, eso es lo que la abogada está explicando. So, Jill, we only have like about a minute left. If you want, we can talk about, the people that are listening, if they need help, they can come to you. So you can help them with, selling the property, or you can help them with short sale. You can even help with investors that want to buy short sale. Yes.
Absolutely. I have my, we will put in the chat my cell phone number and email. You can reach out to Jimmy as well. I have a free legal hotline, and I help the homeowners in distress with a free legal consult, so they have nothing to lose. I get paid by the buyer in part and by the bank in part. But the idea, if you want to be done, wipe out the deficiency, not have to deal with like tax consequences, I'm giving you in a nutshell, and be done with the debt and move on with your life, you're better off generally doing a short sale than going into foreclosure. And I'm here to help you either look into properties like this to buy, they're fantastic deals, or to help you sell so that you don't find yourself putting your head in the sand and not understanding, oh, wait a minute, I could have done something. I could have helped myself pay the IRS and the tax debt and move forward.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time. I'm just going to say in Spanish, right, that they can come to you and they can come to you through me as well. So, si usted necesita ayuda, usted está teniendo problemas con su hipoteca, ya sabe, usted tiene una abogada, Mrs. Jill Michaels, que tiene mucha experiencia, que trabaja con la comunidad. Ella ha atendido muchos clientes hispanos, así como ustedes que están escuchando. Ella trabaja conmigo. Obviamente ella me refiere clientes a mí, yo le refiero clientes a ella, y es excelente, experta, conoce muy bien su rama, y así que me despido porque se nos acaba el tiempo, así que nos vemos la semana que viene. Chao. Thank you.
Chao. Muchas gracias. Fue un placer.
Si usted le debe dinero al IRS, si le notificaron que le harán una auditoría, probablemente no puede dormir tranquilo, porque el IRS le puede embargar su salario, congelar sus cuentas bancarias y hasta afectar su trámite migratorio. Afortunadamente tenemos en nuestra comunidad a JV Tax and Accounting Services. Más que una firma contable, es su tranquilidad. Jimmy Vargas es uno de los pocos hispanos en el área que es licenciado por el IRS para representarle en su caso legal de impuestos.
Hola, soy Jimmy Vargas, hispano como usted. Tengo el conocimiento y la experiencia para ayudarle con su caso con el IRS.
Muchos dueños de negocio contratan a JV Tax and Accounting Services como su firma contable porque lo hacen todo, nómina, impuestos, y estarán allí en caso de que llegue cualquier notificación del IRS. No se lleve de anuncios por televisión que prometen cosas que luego no cumplen. Llame para una cita 240-893-6916, sirviendo toda el área metropolitana de Washington. 240-893-6916 y vuelva a dormir tranquilo. Y hasta aquí su programa Hablando de Impuestos con el licenciado Jimmy Vargas. No se pierda un programa similar el próximo viernes a las 3 de la tarde por Radio América 900. Y a continuación un espacio pagado por Capital Residential. Financiando tu hogar con Miguel Balbi. Toda la información financiera que usted necesita para comprar su casa. Financiando tu hogar. Queda con ustedes para la conducción de este programa, Patricia Valverde.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Muy buenas tardes, un gusto saludarles a todos ustedes. Patricia Valverde les saluda y bueno, ya como es de costumbre a esta hora estamos en Financiando tu Hogar y para